Welcome to Proven and Probable, where we focus on metals, mining, and more. I'm your host, Maurice Jackson. Today, we will highlight a junior mining exploration company that has been quietly unlocking mineral value in Argentina. I'm speaking of ABRAPLATA Resource Corp, trading on the TSXV symbol ABRA and on the OTCQB symbol ABBRF. Joining us for a conversation is Willem Fuchter. He is the president and CEO of ABRAPLATA Resource Corp. Mr. Fuchter, welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you, Maurice. Thank you for having me. It's great to be back again.
Sir, on behalf of all the shareholders of ABRAPLATA, we are proud to be the first to say congratulations on today's press release entitled ABRAPLATA announces Diablillo's PEA results with 30.2% IRR. Let's delve right into the PEA, but before we begin, let's share with our listeners the spot prices that were used to conduct the PEA so that we have a full context of these results, sir.
Our metal price assumptions are based on $20 silver per ounce and $1,300 ounce of gold.
All right, Mr. Fuchter, please share with us today's results.
Well, first of all, I would thank you for those words you said on our press release. We certainly are very pleased with it. In fact, it not only met our expectations, but it, in fact, exceeded those expectations. So we are very, very pleased, and it's a pleasure to be able to share them with our audience. Our after-tax NPV, as you mentioned, comes to some $200 million. That's at a discount rate of 7.5%. As you mentioned, the after-tax IRR is some 30%, which is quite spectacular. Our average annual production, which is indicated by the PEA, indicates that we'll be producing nearly 10 million ounces of silver equivalent per year for a mine life of 8 years. And that is very, very interesting. I think another really important aspect of the PEA, which certainly thrills us, is the fact that the all-in sustaining costs per ounce produced is expected to be $7.50 per ounce of silver equivalent, or want to translate that into gold equivalent, some $540 an ounce gold equivalent.
Just to summarize here for our listeners that may be new to the ABRAPLATA story here, we're talking about an open pit silver gold mine. Is that correct, sir?
That's correct. And that open pit gold mine is based on a resource of some 140 million ounces of silver, and or if you want to translate it to that silver equivalent, or to translate that into gold equivalent, 1.8 million ounces. So it's quite a large deposit.
All right. Now, what is the price sensitivity to silver?
Well, as we just heard, the NPV at $20 an ounce silver equivalent amounts to some $200 million US, and it is sensitive to the silver price. And there's an increase or decrease of about $15 million in NPV with every $2 change in the gold price, either up or down.
Mr. Fuchter, please give us a project description and a mineral resource estimate.
The project lies in the province of Salta in northwestern Argentina. It's got good infrastructure there, some roads and a gas pipeline, which is going to be able to let us generate power on the property. There's good groundwater resources there, which will support mining on the property. Resources there are mainly coming from the Oculta deposit and some 26 million tons mineralized material at an average grade of 93 grams per ton silver, 0.85 grams per ton gold, amounts to some 18 million ounces of silver contained, and in addition, some 730 ounces of 1,000 ounces of gold.
Now, can you also provide us with a production summary?
As I think I mentioned a little earlier in the program, we anticipate that we'll be able to produce almost 10 million ounces of silver equivalent per year over a mine life of 8 years.
And also, will we have a processing plant here?
Yes, the processing plant comprises crushing, grinding, agitated vat leach, followed by precipitation of the precious metals through the Merrill-Crowe process. And that gives us a recovery of some 80% for silver and 86% for gold.
Switching gears, ABRAPLATA has answered a very big unanswered question with a resounding yes. And these are the deep value propositions that we love to share with our subscribers. Now, Mr. Fuchter, ABRAPLATA is trading at a very low valuation at the moment relative to the PEA, NPV, and the indicated resource of 139 million silver equivalent ounces and 1.8 million gold equivalent ounces. What are your thoughts on that right now, sir?
Well, the low valuations we attribute to a relatively new, being a relatively new company, lackluster silver performance lately, and our need for capital to develop the Diablesius property. That, of course, represents a tremendous opportunity for our investors, because we think the market will soon take notice of Diablesius and its potential, particularly after the press release of the PEA results. ABRAPLATA also has a tremendous leverage to the silver prices, as you can see. So a long overdue rise in the silver price should also translate into a much higher valuation, given the scarcity of large silver development projects in our jurisdiction. And as you know, silver is certainly a jurisdiction that welcomes mining.
Now, based on the PEA, and please correct me if I'm wrong, but it looks like ABRAPLATA has the makings of a mid-tier producer. Can you expand on that, sir?
We talked about its production profile of some 10 million ounces silver equivalent per year. And if we bring that into production, it would make us a mid-tier producer. It also makes us attractive to existing mid-tier producers, because Diablesius would increase their total production by some 50 to 100% and reduce their all-in sustaining cost.
Mr. Fuchter, how do we plan to obtain the aforementioned capital of $293 million to become a mid-tier producer?
Our goal is to deliver a fully permitted construction-ready project by the end of next year. As you know, we've just completed the PEA on Diablesius, and we were particularly pleased with the results. Our next steps are the pre-feasibility study, or PFS, and given the size of the project, we want to bring in a strategic partner to provide the capital and development expertise.
Now let's share with our listeners the fortuitous timing of ABRAPLATA's acquisition of the Diablesius. How did this come to fruition?
We acquired the Diablesius on very good terms from SSR Mining in 2016, when they made a strategic decision to exit South America. Not only was that the bottom of the mining market, but it also concerned with Argentina's government implementing a number of favorable tax and policy changes designed to attract mining investment. And remember that over 35 million has been spent on the Diablesius project to date, and that there were multiple bidders in the SSR sale process. ABRAPLATA was invited to bid, and we ultimately won not only because of our Argentine expertise, but the fact that many of the executive management live in Argentina.
Mr. Fuchter, I have a multi-layered question here for you. What is the next unanswered question for ABRAPLATA? When should we expect results? And what determines success?
In terms of the next unanswered question is the persistence of the gold mineralization at depth. Not only is that gold at a much higher grade than exists in the open pit resource at this moment in time, but there's geological potential for it to extend considerably to considerable depths below the pit. So we certainly want to be drilling that over the next 2 years. In terms of our timeline, we are going to be finishing the pre-feasibility study by the end of this year. And our goals are, as I've mentioned before, is to deliver a fully permitted construction-ready project by the end of 2019.
Now, Willem, I know we just had some very successful results with the PEA, but I have to ask you this. What keeps you up at night that we don't know about?
I think that what is a bit disconcerting for me at this moment in time are the markets and the current spot prices. I think the general sentiment is that we're going to see a considerable lift in the silver prices, but exactly when that's going to happen is still difficult to tell at this moment in time. However, I think what rather than keeps me up at night, but gives me some comfort, is the fact that the silver-gold ratios are quite high at this moment in time, around about 80-1. And as your listeners probably know, the long-term 30-year average of the silver-gold ratio is around about 60. And our PEA price that we've used in the economic assessment are 1,300 gold and 20 silver, and that's close to a 65-1 ratio.
Mr. Fuchter, final question. What did I forget to ask?
I think that, and I hope that, I think what you failed to ask, and I hope that the listeners will find of interest, is what is the expansion potential on the property? At this moment in time, we see expansion potential from three localities. One, there's 20 to 30% possibility to expand the resources within the pit. Then there's the deep high-grade gold zone, which we've talked about just in one of your questions, answering one of your questions earlier. And finally, there are satellite deposits on the periphery of the main occulted deposit, which can also bring in additional resources. This means that the 8-year mine life is probably going to be extended by a number of years subsequent to the end of the current planned pit.
Mr. Fuchter, for someone listening that wants to get more information regarding ABRAPLATA Resource Corp., please share the contact details.
Yes, we're found at www.abraplata.com, and your listeners are free to get hold of Rob Bruggeman, our Corporate Development and Investor Relations Officer. He can be found at rob@abraplata.com or at 416-884-3556.
And last but not least, please visit our website, www.provenandprobable.com, where we interview the most respected names in the natural resource space. You may reach us at contact@provenandprobable.com. Willem Fuchter of ABRAPLATA Resource Corp., thank you for joining us today on Proven and Probable. And as a reminder, we'd like to share with our listeners that ABRAPLATA Resource is a sponsor of Proven and Probable, and they are proud shareholders of ABRAPLATA Resources for the virtues conveyed in today's message.
Thank you for joining us today on Proven and Probable. Remember to like and subscribe for more conversations with the most respected names in the natural resource space. Check out our website at www.provenandprobable.com. The information presented on Proven and Probable is provided for educational and informational purposes only, without any express or implied warranty of any kind, including warranties of accuracy, completeness, or fitness for any particular purpose. The information is not intended to be and does not constitute financial, investment, or trading advice, or any other advice. You should not make any financial, investment, or trading decision based on any of the information presented without first undertaking independent due diligence and consultation with a professional broker or competent financial advisor.